Jon Jones versus Cyril Gane. What the hell is gonna happen?
He clips him behind the head. That's it.
Okay, so make sure you stay tuned to the end of the video because we're really gonna get into this and see who I think is gonna win. If you agree with me or disagree with me, just drop a comment and let me know what you think. But first, we gotta see what the hell are these guys doing? How are these guys gonna fight each other? How is Cyril gonna fight Jon? What are his keys to victory? How is Jon gonna fight Cyril? What are his keys to victory? It's really hard to predict these things. I personally don't bet on fights. But with a gun to my head, here's what I think they're gonna do. I think Jon is gonna focus on staying out of boxing range. Cyril can close the distance, but Jon is gonna do everything he can to stay out of boxing range. I believe he's going to wrestle a lot more in this fight than in some of his previous fights. I don't think he's gonna be too concerned about getting actual takedowns. I think he's gonna wanna press him against the fence, hold that position, and lean on him, and wear on him, and chip shots, get elbows, little knees, stomp the feet, all the most annoying stuff. Also, we haven't really seen Cyril tested in grappling. So it might be that Jon's able to secure actual takedown, get top position. And if he can get top position, I don't think Cyril Gane is gonna last. I really don't. Jon Jones's ground and pound is just too advanced and too nasty. He's just mean. He will do the nastiest things he can to you. He doesn't necessarily care about rules, it seems. So that's dangerous. You don't really want to be under a guy like that. Jon needs to own the center. He needs to make sure he maintains center of the octagon. If he gets his back pressed against the fence, now your outside kick game is gone. Kicking with your back on the fence is a clear way to get knocked the F out because you're gonna place yourself on one foot with nowhere to go. And if anybody can close the distance, it's not that difficult to hit that target. Okay, you can't move the same, you can't slip the same, your back shift is gone, and especially if you don't have solid blocking that leads to counters, there's not much deterrent. He needs to own the center. He needs to be nasty in the clinch. Slice with elbows, smash shoulders, little headbutts here and there. We know this guy throws headbutts. He needs to be nasty in the clinch. He needs to be patient because being the somewhat smaller man, having more experience, it's very likely that Cyril Gane may fade in those later rounds. And Jon needs to have enough left in the tank that he can exploit Cyril Gane in those later rounds by ramping up the pace and ramping up the pressure of attack. This is how I feel he is going to fight. He is going to start at long range and then pretty quickly he's going to attempt to shoot, close the distance, and clinch, 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 elbow, knee, clinch, maybe takedown, maybe not. And then I believe he's gonna go back to that long range once Cyril is somewhat mentally affected by this different type of style than he's been fighting recently. Yeah, I think he's gonna go back to kick distance and start chipping once Cyril is already somewhat broken or somewhat confused. Now Cyril, what's Cyril gonna do? Okay, how is he gonna solve the problem of Jon Jones? If I'm Cyril Gane, I'm definitely shifting into the pocket. I'm gonna press him back. I'm not gonna take too many steps backwards, although obviously you gotta take little steps backwards or you're just gonna get hit by everything. Predominantly, I will press forward. Opportunistically, when I see that Jones is lapsing or I hit him with something or he's thinking, okay, I'm gonna shift forward, cut the distance, get into the pocket, and when I get into the pocket, I'm throwing heavy leather. I'm shifting, boom, into the pocket, bang, 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 using round shots. I don't think Jon gets stopped with straight weapons. I think Jon, if he's gonna get stopped by the overhand, coming over the shoulder of whatever stance he's in at the time, right? So if he's southpaw, coming over here. If he's orthodox, coming over here. He likes to frame a lot, keeps his head pretty high, and he doesn't adjust his level very well. So I think that getting into the pocket and then looping shots and body work to set up more looping shots is going to be the answer for Cyril Gane. He needs to keep his back off the fence. Whoever owns the center of this fight is gonna have a huge advantage. Cyril's gonna have to have good strategies to deal with Jon's takedown and wrestling. Okay, now Jon predominantly will shoot doubles and then come up to body locks when the double doesn't work. He's gonna have to have a great strategy to deal with that, whether it's to grab and throw, or break the grips, or shut down the initial wrestling attack by posting, framing, or sprawling before he's ever able to get up and lock his hands together on something, right? Because when Jon puts you on the wall and gets his head, right, puts you like this, gets an underhook and places his head in the pocket here, it's a hard problem to deal with. You're not gonna get out without expending a decent amount of energy, okay? When he is just kind of leaning on you and bang, 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 bang. Cyril's gonna have to have an intelligent strategy to deal with this. He's gonna have to be patient. If he expends too much energy in those first couple rounds, okay, Jon is gonna start trying to pour it on later down the road. I think this is gonna be a huge part of the game, is whoever's gas tank can last. Jon's used to fighting these many rounds. Cyril's not. So he's gonna have to do a ton of work in prep. He's gonna have to prepare for like a 7-round fight to be ready for those 5 rounds with Jon, because Jon doesn't stop moving forward. So you're gonna have to engage. That's gonna cost energy. Having a mobile style also costs a decent amount of energy, right? Bouncing in and out a lot and shifting and kicking. Kicks are one of the highest expenditures of energy. And if you're kicking while moving, then that's even more energy. Jon's very stationary when he kicks. Okay, there's not a whole lot of setup and there's not a whole lot of movement. He's using a tool that expends a decent amount of energy, but the delivery system doesn't cost him very much. Everything in martial arts has a cost. It's either gonna be a risk for getting hurt, or the cost will be energy. Most of the cost is energy on this one. Cyril has to be able to counter with his hands from close range, because Jon will punch. It's not like the guy never punches, and he's often open for counters, but moves and gets far away quite quickly. If Cyril can shift in to a boxing range and start landing shots and then defend anything Jon throws back and land more shots, it's often that the first attack isn't all that successful. It's the secondary attack, the second wave attack, that lands with far higher percentage. Okay, and that's because people are expecting the first ones. It's way easier to read the first 3 punches than the second 3 punches or the second 4 punches. He's got to put all of this together. It's a problem. But Cyril is a problem for Jon too. He's never fought somebody this big, this long, and this mobile, that's this dangerous from far and from close, from kick and from punch. Cyril really needs to figure out how to deal with the real close range, because they're pretty equal from long range. Cyril is better from punching range. Jon is better from clinching range. So whoever's able to enforce those situations in this fight, I believe, will be victorious. I told you that I would actually tell you who I think is going to win. And I'm sure that most of you that are listening can kind of understand, based on what I've said to this point, who I think is going to win. Okay? Jon Jones. There's some people that I don't know if they have like some deal with the devil, if that's a real thing, or if they're just like super lucky. Some people are crazy lucky. They like win the lottery twice. Like, who the hell does that, right? Jon Jones just wins, man. He's like Floyd Mayweather. I don't think Floyd Mayweather actually won every single fight that he won, but he won them. Did he have judges paid off? I don't think it works like that. Jon Jones, I don't think he won every single fight that he won, but he still won. He still got his hand raised. He finds a way to win. It doesn't really matter to me who Jon Jones is fighting. Just like it doesn't matter to me who Floyd Mayweather is fighting. I'm never gonna bet against him. Not one time, okay? The guy is just too much of a winner. But Cyril Gane's a problem. I'm really interested in how Jon Jones is gonna solve this one. If you have anything that you think Cyril Gane can do to beat this man who seems unbeatable even when he's beaten? Drop a comment. I'm really excited for this fight. Okay, I'm super stoked to watch it. I hope you are too. Okay, thanks for watching the channel. I'll talk to you guys soon.